The best parts of hanging out with these guys, without the hangover.
What's going on, cheapskate?
Hey, Chuckle Bitch. What's going down?
Oh, not a lot. Oh, God damn it. We just hit record and I wanted to share with you the greatest thing that I have purchased. Let me put an order in.
And you don't want to share this with the public for whatever reason?
No, I want to share it. I just didn't bring it downstairs with me.
Ah.
I
That's what you want in the first 5 seconds of a show. Dead air.
Yeah, that's perfect. I was hoping you'd vamp a little bit, but
I'm waiting with bated breath for you to show me something, but apparently that's not going to happen.
No, it's
That's
upstairs. It's upstairs. It's not down here in the danger dungeon, and I just put an order in for it to be delivered down here to me.
Like at any
point
in time, just a stranger is just going to show up with like $38 for the fucking Taco Bell. Be like, see, look what I did. Yeah, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, that was $110 worth of Taco Bell. God love you. Here it comes. Thank you, dear.
Oh, you're texting your wife to bring you your
Do you
toy.
want to come on and just give a wave? Just say hi.
Hi, honey.
So, you know how Amazon will sometimes go, hey, this is pertinent to your interests. You might want to buy this.
Yeah, they do that to me all the time, and they're usually very wrong.
And in my situation, they were very right. I did not know this existed, and it popped up, and I had to have it.
It's a little Guy Fieri. What are those fucking called? What
Pop figure. It's a
there
pop.
we go. Yeah.
I meant to have him down here in the background, hanging out with the with Captain America and the gnome that's flipping off the general public at all time.
Spectacular.
And he just got here yesterday, and I set him up on display upstairs. Forgot to bring him down. But seriously, this is the greatest expenditure of my money that I think I've ever made.
Yeah, he's wearing his traditional shirt that makes him. Why does he purposely make himself look like such a D-bag when he's such a great guy?
That's the thing.
His style is just.
Well, that wasn't him. Normally, he's like a t-shirts kind of guy, or even just like a regular button-up shirt. But it was like the first or second episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. The costume department lost some of the clothes, and they were like, we don't know what to do, and he's like, just go out and buy whatever. And so they came back with all these like bowling shirts.
And they went to Spencer's Gifts. They spent $32 and they bought a wardrobe for 3 seasons.
Yep.
And now
he's stuck.
He's stuck. There's between that and the last gentleman who owns stock in LA Looks and Depp. And he's saving the world one restaurant at a time while looking like a guy who should not be around children.
That he still owns some of those t-shirts that had like when you put your hands on them, they would leave the
hypercolor.
Hypercolor. Yep, that's it.
Which was awesome because like if you wore them outside in the summer for 8 seconds, then you just had armpit just your armpit in the middle of your back just burst into beautiful color.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly what a kid who's just going through puberty needs.
Yeah.
More embarrassment.
Yeah, you know what this chubby kid
area.
This chubby kid needs is a Rorschach on his back. What image do you see? Well, I see me kicking this kid's ass. Well, you're not wrong.
Why are his armpits blossoming orange? I don't know. Go ask that really generally nice carny if he'll make you some nachos, and then we'll figure out the middle at some point. Hey, if this is your first, I've been told that we're supposed to say what we do in the first minute of the show, and I don't think we're gonna do that ever.
Fuck.
So,
did you figure it out?
Yeah, well, no. I read all the stuff that you're supposed to do on a podcast, and we don't do most of them. And I think that should be our shtick. It's like all the tips and tricks. And I realize I'm not a guy who takes advice, which is why this growth is never going to get looked at.
No. Well, still, I'll look at it, but
you're gonna. Yeah, I want you to draw it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna poke it with a stick, give it a name.
Charcoal sketch of it. Well, hey, let's. We can do this though. Please like and subscribe to our bullshit on our YouTube channel. If you are just listening to us on the podcast, if you're listening to us on a podcast, you realize that podcasts can be listened to anywhere. So we don't care where you listen to us. Just like and subscribe. And you can check out our YouTube channel at Ziggler Ignore Topic. And there's Guy Fieri again.
And you can see Guy Fieri.
And you can see his little pop figure of Guy Fieri.
Hey, by the way, sorry that there was no video last week for anybody that actually watches it.
That was my fault. Well, not really.
It was not your fault. Hey, there it is. You got that's not even action figures. That's just art. What you just held up.
Absolutely. We're just not even going to bring it up what it was. So you got to go check out the goddamn YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And fast forward to right about here in order to do that. So the last 2 weeks have been a wild ride. I don't know where to begin, but I'll give you just the highlights. I live next to the train, as we all know. The city of Chicago is in the first few months of a 3-year reconstruction of some of the fucking train tracks, and I live at ground fucking zero. So I don't know what it is or what it's doing, but it must be important because it does a hell of a lot of it. There's a big blue machine that hoists huge girders up in the air and then forces them, like the smallest guy in cell block D, into a hole that it probably shouldn't fit in. And it does this by sounding like a fucking kaiju and then goes brah, so loud and so aggressively, it literally shakes my entire brick building.
Yeah,
this is a four-story. This is a 4-story brick building that's been here for 100 years. It shakes. I sent you a video of that's my dining room. That's the other end of the house of my salt and pepper shakers, and then a beverage container just dancing. The whole house fucking vibrates. My little dog, he couldn't give less of a shit. He's fine with it. He thinks it's there for his enjoyment. It helps him sleep. But it's impossible to get anything done when your home is jittering. It's not possible. So that happens.
Your home's got the DTs.
It does. It just fucking just. I'm living in Michael J. Fox. So after it's easier for him in the afternoons. So that happens. I'm trying to live my life, and during this, the internet she dies. She just goes away. And we thought it was the jittering house that did it. I went outside and I looked at the box that the internet's coming in. The doors to this box are wide the fuck open. RCN is the company that delivers my interwebs. What's really cute is that the box is right outside my bedroom door, or bedroom window rather. So when you open up the shades, what do you see? The open door that's been jittered open to the box, and there's a big sticker that just says RCN on it when nothing's working in the house. It's like, all right, God, I got you. There's your sign. I'll call them. So I'm thinking that the city of Chicago has jittered something open, or possibly somebody has gotten 25 feet up in the air, like we had discussed, and pulled everything out.
Yeah.
Nope. Want to know what happened?
I do.
The other company that supplies internet to this building, Xfinity, they had somebody come out and fuck with wires and just not close boxes. I don't know, somebody switched companies and they just fucked with mine or something, but literally somebody yanked out the plug for my RCN, plugged in an Xfinity, which I do not pay for. So everything in my building my apartment was looking for something for a signal that we don't pay for. And it took the people 4 days to come out to tell me that.
Well done, Xfinity.
I was just like, well, there's your problem. No, the house shaking, that has nothing to do with it.
No.
Surprisingly, no. You just get to live with that now.
No, that's just Zool.
God. But I did get to go try to work on I do have a hotspot on my phone, and I was trying to work off that, but I didn't realize that takes up a lot of data. So when you use your phone to run the TV to watch the majority of a season of 30 Rock, you can't work. You can't work on that anymore. So I went to the library to try to work.
Yeah, with you and just a bunch of underhomed people masturbating in the computer section.
Underhomed and very retired. Those
Yes.
are that is your demographic for folks that just like to come to the library and wait outside for it to open.
Mhm.
They're waiting outside like they're getting tickets to fucking Lord of the Rings 20 years ago. They're like, I want to be the first one. I'm going to get the iPhone 17. No, I'm just going to walk in there and read last week's paper for an hour. All right, pal. That's a cavalcade of interesting characters in that joint, man.
Yeah.
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 Hell of a lot more entertaining than a Starbucks. I'll tell you that much for free.
Well, and speaking of, you just go into a library for free and they can't come up and ask you, hey, you going to buy something? Because no, I'm not. It's a library. I can just be here.
There was one gentleman in the library. Well, there's just a couple of characters, but the one gentleman that my favorite was a 75-year-old Asian man. Not saying that matters, but it does just to paint the picture. Who likes to take his shit with the door propped slightly open, so people can just walk in, and he waves at you. I turned around, looked at the gentleman who was behind the front desk or whatever the hell it is, the librarian's podium, whatever you want to call it, and he just goes, "Bill, shut the door."
Sorry, man. This happens all the time, Bill.
It does. It's like, just shut the door, please, Bill. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no one wants to see. I mean, Dale wants to see it, but
Yeah.
Dale's already, he's in the section. He's finished. He's in his section. We all know from 9 a.m. to 9:15, we don't go over to the Judy Blume books. We just know
No.
that. We redirect children to other places so that Dale can just do what Dale does. We all know it, and it's fine. We're a library. Who the fuck cares?
Welcome to the library where everyone's given up. Except for the one guy who is drawing, because he goes in there and they give him construction paper, and his drawing is literally just with an old school big ass fucking marker and him stabbing the piece of construction paper. Making his art. And then I want to say librarian, I'm just going to say bouncer, comes over, says, "That's pretty loud. Can I give you this?" And he switches him out for a pencil. So then the guy starts stabbing at the thing aggressively with a pencil, and everybody else realizes you've just given a lunatic a baby spear. Let's fucking. You just see people slightly back away from the area.
Okay.
Mhm.
One of us is going to the hospital today. Let's just see. Way to go. You gave Carl something deadly.
And Bill's in the back taking a shit. Carl's over there with a makeshift shiv. You know what? It's time for the kids to learn how to read. Where's LeVar Burton? Let's just teach everybody.
Dale's getting real excited reading Super Fudge.
God damn it.
Hey, speaking of God's special soldiers, that reminded me, I had somebody I saw the other day that I had to tell you about.
Okay.
I was headed up to the north end of town and taking a circuitous route just for funsies.
Oh, did you get to use your word of the day?
A
Nice.
circuitous, yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah. And I noticed this gentleman who is in, capri pants, like clam digger height, where they just came down to like his calves.
Like mid shin.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Culottes, if you will.
And I will.
They keep your ankles nice and cool. And he's wearing some manner of sandal, which that's fine.
Okay.
A vest.
Suit vest, waistcoat,
Yes.
a life preserve vest. Was it orange?
It was so it was a satin brown back. The front of it, the
Mhm.
front of it was red and black striped.
Okay.
No shirt.
Certainly not.
Wearing a tiny, like a small fedora, not a full size brim fedora, one of the small ones, but he had it
Like comically small, like you need a chin strap.
No.
Okay.
But like just like an everyday fedora, not an Indiana Jones style.
Gotcha.
Okay. But he had this thing turned, so you know how it would sit with the crown like that?
Yeah.
He had it turned at a 90-degree angle and cocked ace deuce. It is.
So his hat was pointing west and he was heading north.
Yep. Exactly. And he and a small backpack thrown over his shoulder. That's on the left side, and the right hand is a hubcap.
Okay.
And so I'm driving along and I'm seeing this guy in the distance, and I'm like, what manner of tomfuckery are we getting into now?
Let's figure out this fucker's story
And
immediately.
I never pray for red lights, but I was like, please let me hit this red light, because he's walking past essentially a brickyard. It's brick and stone and such, and these piles of bricks are right next to the sidewalk. I killed the air conditioner, killed the radio, put the windows down so that I could get a good listen. He begins trying to sell the hubcap to a stack of bricks.
Was he attempting to sell it, or was he practicing his pitch?
I can't, you know what? If he was practicing, it was well practiced, brother. Because I was convinced he was like, I mean, he is.
If he was practicing, this was dress rehearsal.
Yes, yeah.
This is last looks. All right.
Yeah, this is the night before the show, y'all. And so he's, I mean, he is into, and he's really, and at one point he starts yelling at this stack of bricks about how this is a good metal hubcap. This is worth something. And then he said, I'll show you. And he tapped it on the bricks, but instead of going tink, 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 it went thump, 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 because it's one of the plastic hubcaps.
Very good. Sure.
And he stopped and he goes, I will be damned. You're right. That is plastic. And then he dropped it and shuffled on and kept walking, and like, nothing's gonna break my stride. Ain't nobody gonna hold me down. Whoa, whoa. And I mean, just scooting down the sidewalk. And I was like, if I wasn't afraid that there was another hubcap in that tiny backpack that he was going to use to assault me with, I really want to know this guy's story.
There's a big difference in humanity. I love it. Guys like you and me, when we're about to leave the house, we go, wallet, keys, cell phone, pocket knife, hanky. All right, I got everything I need. Let's go. This guy's going, all right, I fucked up how to wear a hat, forgot my shirt. Check. Plastic hubcap that's going to anger me later. Excellent. Backpack full of something. Correct. Let's go out and adventure, folks, shall we?
A pair of pants that don't go all the way down.
Nor all the way up. They just stop. Much like my gumption, they stop 2/3 of the way.
And these sandals. Why sandals? Because they're great for walking. Are they? Probably not.
After I finish selling this plastic hubcap to a brick, I will inform the trees I'm going to run for alderman, and that's the day.
And then I will make my home wherever I am. This Arby's, now mine. Thank you. Ding, 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 ding.
He just stuck a flag in the Arby's. He's claiming it for Spain. I don't know exactly.
He's claimed he has a backpack full of riches, and this time he promises that they're metal. And I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to know.
He keeps threatening to open the backpack, but that's dripping. I'm pretty sure that there's old Jello or something in it. It's oozing out the bottom. There is no hole at the bottom, but it's just slightly. There's condensation.
He's convinced Earl in the back that there's a whole farmer's market in that backpack. And that's a small backpack. I'm telling you, there's only at most, it's a third of a farmer's market.
And then everybody else in the neighborhood's like, oh, I know him. That's Dr. Hello Kitty. He does this shit all the time. It's like, what? He's mostly harmless except for the bricks. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Wait, what kind of a doctor? Oh, it's just a PhD. He's not qualified for much.
It's a doctor of Greek theater is what he's got his doctorate in.
Yeah. But still, he's a doctor. We should show him some respect for all the time and effort he put into screaming at bricks. You will give me a diploma. You will give me my doctorate. And I do
not have a mirror in my house. I don't need it. I know this look. I've cultivated this look.
I know what I look like, and I look like cinder blocks. I bet they'd be interested in some tin cans.
Just screaming to himself, I can't tie these shoes. They're still flip-flops, pal. That's why I can't tie them. Okay. What are we doing?
I'm very upset. These were supposed to have laces. When I ordered them from that pile of granite, they told me it would come laced up. And now I just got shit between my toes.
How are you only moist on your left side? What has happened to you today?
because this is where the equator lies. Nope.
Just the huge for old Dr. Hello Kitty.
Looks like you need an exam. I do not, but I'm curious what that consists of.
The only clean thing about him is the latex glove that he just appeared out of thin air. He just generated snap. Oh my giddy odds. No, sir. No.
I gotta take your temperature, but just stick my finger in your mouth. Nope, please don't. Well, then we go the other way. Mouth's fine.
He just walks around town performing prostate exams and accepting gratuity.
So anyway, I was telling whoa, sweet Jesus God. Oh, hey, Dr. Hello Kitty.
You can Venmo me. I know. Absolutely.
How deep and how many fingers? Can you just look back there? All of them. Yeah, that makes sense. Everything looking good back there? I don't know. I just got a PhD, but I did you a favor. Okay, all right. Here's $5 to not do it again.
Not using my finger, that's unsanitary. I found half a rolling pin. What the fuck?
Oh my God. What was your day like? We're headed to Dr. Hello Kitty, and I still have a bowling pin up my ass.
And they still made me come to work.
They would not let me call off for that. I tried.
Hey, do we still have a sponsor?
Probably. They haven't emailed us and told us no yet. So
excellent. This episode of Zig and Larry, like most of them, is brought to you by our folks at splitsociety.org.
Splitsociety.org.
We're working on a jingle for them currently.
Yes.
That's all we got, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm having a consult with Dr. Hello Kitty tomorrow.
Okay,
get him to finish out the lyrics for us, and I've already given him a manifesto on it, which is the only way he'll read anything.
He's a big fan of the products too.
That's how I paid for my last prostate exam.
Check them out. They're the purveyor of fine, hand-rolled artisanal spliffs. They are palm leaves that have been lightly toasted. They are rolled up with no glue, no bullshit, hand-rolled by artisans, coming to you so that you don't have to smoke your weed out of something that came from a gas station. If you're going to smoke...
Or the backpack of Dr. Hello Kitty.
If you're going to smoke, don't look like an asshole doing it. Splitsociety.org. That is not their slogan.
Splitsociety.org. They'll pay us for copy.
Yep. At some point, we're going to get in trouble. At some point.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that like, I think only one of those guys actually listens to the show, and he encourages us. Just keep going. Until the rest of these guys listen, just keep going.
Well, you have accidentally given us a lovely lead-in to today's hot topic. Yeah. So if you're listening to this when it first came out, this will be last weekend. But Larry and I are recording on the second weekend of August. Mm-hmm. And Larry, you know what the second weekend of August is, don't you? What is celebrated every second weekend of August in Britt, Iowa, since the late 1800s?
Is that the annual fisting contest?
No, that actually happens in September, and it's just two guys that just show up at the same day's in.
Is it how many ears of corn I can fit in my pee hole?
No, because we all know the answer is 7. Last one.
Then I'm at a loss, dude.
It's Hobo Days, everybody. We're gonna talk about some hobos.
Hobo.
Yeah. Hobo Days.
I misheard for a second.
Oh, come on. No, Hobo, H-O-B-O. Hobo Days,
I got to be honest. I really did. For like 2 seconds, I was like, what did you just scream into the microphone? Oh, Hobo Days. I didn't realize we should be going to Hobo Days. Look at me. Look at me. I look like a freshly washed hobo.
Absolutely. So that's why I was inspired by you.
Oh,
Crunk Kringle. No, we're going to talk about some hobos, man. It is Hobo Days right now going on. If you're listening to us in Iowa, stop and drive to wherever the fucking Iowa Brit is and go check out Hobo Days. Hobo Days is held there because in 1889, the first ever official hobo convention was held in Britt, Iowa. I'm almost positive that's true. I know that it was happening. I know that's a thing, and I think it was the first one. I know it was 1889.
B plus effort, C plus results, folks.
Absolutely. So I'm not going to go through a whole lot of the backstory about hobos because it's kind of like it's mired in mystery. They kind of started the guys who ride the rails kind of started like sometime after the Civil War. And then during Hoover's big oopsie with the entire economy, they were big in the 20s and 30s. There's still a few out there.
Hoover's big oopsie, which is how I'm going to just start homeschooling the kids, and that's how we're going to refer to it from now on.
Absolutely. There are a few key things that we need to know about hobos before we get into what I want to get into about them.
Yes.
They
wine.
are.
Let's talk about the boot wine.
No, they have. You can't talk about them like that because there are three different distinctions. And if you talk to one of these people who are going, there's still probably a handful that still go, and they're in the parade and they got the bindle. Did you know a bindle stiff is a guy that carries a bindle?
Mm-hmm.
I learned that. I didn't know that.
Hey,
I know you are stick, but a bindle stiff is the dude.
You are talking to to somebody that worked for the railroad.
No. There we go. So you probably met some hobos.
I have actually.
Or you conceivably met a tramp. There is a difference I've learned, and I will tell you. Everything I've read about every hobo, this has come up. They're like, no, I'm a hobo. That's a thing. We call each other bows, but hobo. I'm not a tramp. I'm not a bum. I'm a hobo. So a hobo is a guy, usually a mildly skilled tradesman or very skilled tradesman, or at least somebody who's willing to do odd jobs and manual labor, who just wanders the earth. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like the guy from Kung Fu, but he only washes his balls every once in a bit.
So just like David Carradine. Okay.
Absolutely. But he is actively attempting to earn a living and do something decent in society.
Mm-hmm.
A tramp is all those things without the actively trying to do anything. They'll wander around. They'd prefer just to be fed money. They will work at gunpoint, but they're kind of lazy. They don't want to. That's a tramp.
Okay, so hobos, a hobo will ride the rails, and then when you leave a pie out on your windowsill to cool, they will follow the fragrance on the cloud, like we've seen in all the documentaries.
Correct.
But then they will offer to work for that pie.
Correct.
A tramp will do the exact same thing, but then will yoink it off the windowsill and do the little tiki on its tiptoes.
Correct.
Okay.
Where he goes off to eat and or fuck said pie.
Yes, both. Both. Because you're not, if you can fuck it, you can eat it. And I know that is the tramp code.
Do you have to be a tramp t-shirt? If you can fuck it, you can eat it.
You can fuck it, you can eat it.
Well, why's your dick in that tree? Why is it yours? What are we talking about now, Dad? And the third category that they will tell you is bum. A bum's a guy who ain't doing shit. He will not travel. He's too lazy to even travel, too lazy to work. He barely begs. A bum is just the guy who's like faced out in the dirt. A bum is the guy who I saw several months ago take a shit next to a tree right in front of a pharmacy.
Yes.
That's a bum.
Yeah.
So he is not actively attempting to do anything. But what I really wanted to talk about is you think hobo, you think like the sad hobo clown. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it's actually, there's like kind of an art. There's kind of there's just something kind of romantic about like just this lifestyle. I think kind of, especially like maybe back in the day. I don't know. But in 1889, when they first got together, they came up with, I shit you not, and most of these guys that I've read, they abide by this like it's fucking Hippocratic oath, the Hobo Ethical Code.
I've heard of the Hobo.
Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have.
It is 15, I believe 15. Yeah, 15 tenets to the Hobo Ethical Code. And I submit to you and God and anyone listening that that was actually kind of cute, that these might be more important or better put than the pieces of stone that the Jew came down from the mountain that he pretended like the man in his ear gave him. I think that a lot of these are better.
Okay.
So, Hobo Ethical Code, the 15 tenets of the guys who ride the rails or just wander, doing odd jobs, and offering to, I believe, fuck women for pie. Is that what we decided that they're doing?
I think fuck a pie to sweep floors. I think
Mhm.
I will fuck this pie in front of you if you will then allow me to sweep your gutters. I'm confused.
We can go back and forth with this all day. I mean, lady,
I've already been in the boot wine, so
Yeah. Number one, decide your own life. Don't let another person run or rule you.
okay.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
absolutely. We kind of, although number two is kind of it's kind of a dichotomy. When in town, always respect the local law and officials and try to be a gentleman at all times. Also, yes, absolutely. I'm not sure if two kind of directly contradicts one though. Like by saying don't let another decide your own life, don't let another person run or rule you. I'm not sure if they're going for straight up anarchy. But number two is don't let the popos beat you with sticks, or don't give them a reason to. Basically,
I think that's what number two means. Don't give the bulls a reason to beat the shit out of you.
Don't take advantage of someone who is in a vulnerable situation, locals or other hobos.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
While not pissing off the cops.
While not pissing off the cops, but also living your own life.
But also pissing on the Constitution. I'm pretty sure. Which I'm kind of okay with. I see these guys as like whoever wrote this in 1889 as kind of like stinky founding fathers. Not that the founding fathers smelled particularly good. I'm sure.
Those guys.
No. Powdered wigs and heavy wool suits in that heat in Virginia. I mean,
and walking around in heels like they did all day long, you're going to work up a sweat.
Rotten teeth, or just the wood in your head is rotten.
Yeah.
So, but I just figure it's all these guys, and there's one dude over the corner who there's got to be a couple of hobos who are a little Dr. Hello Kitty. Like there's gonna be a few in the back. The guy's like, all right, decide your own life. Don't let another person run or rule you. And that guy over the corner. Also, cheese is good. Great. That's not going in the book though.
I got a backpack full of something. Okay, yeah, you sure do, Dr. Hello Kitty.
We've talked about this. You're a hobo. It's a bindle. It's a bindle.
I got a bindle full of universes. No, you don't.
All of my possessions fit inside this goddamn bandana.
That's
stick.
You've just got miscellaneous parts and pieces from a Polly Pocket set.
Well, what could you possibly fit in that bandana other than other bandanas? Like what is it? It's like two pairs of socks, other bandanas, wrap it up, put it on a stick. And why do you need the stick? Like, what? Just hold it. What is going on with you people in the bindle stick?
Well, the bindle stick is there to just in case some kinky hobo action sits around. I got a stick. Who wants a little slappy slap on the bum bum?
You would assume at some point in these 15 tenets of the hobos, there would be some manner of like something just gnarly, but there kind of ain't. We'll get there.
Okay.
Number 4. Always try to find work, even if temporary, and always seek out jobs nobody wants. By doing so, you not only help a business along, but ensure employment should you return to that town again.
That's just good advice, period.
Yeah, and I hate taking advice, but I want to sit down with these fucking this colossal hobo extravaganza, just sit down with the council, be like, you guys, why aren't you running shit? Why is that guy in the corner smelling beans? But why aren't you guys running everything?
So it's this week. Okay. So next year.
Yeah.
You and I have to go and interview hobos.
We hit Columbus on the way there. I know if not, for me, it'll be kind of on the way. Not exactly, but you go up, you're going to have to take a sharp left in Ohio, but But yeah, apparently it's a fucking hobo days, right? They have a parade, people dress up like hobos, and I'm not sure, I'm guessing the hobos dig it. And my wife was like, how do they get there? Like the hobos, I'm like, any way possible? I'm not certain.
The trains and probably hitchhiking and bicycles.
They do still apparently ride the rails, but it's much more. Well, I wouldn't say recently worked for the railroad, but more
No.
recent. But I mean, like, comparatively to what I'm talking about, like the Civil War era, where it was easier to jump on and off a train because they weren't moving that fast.
Yeah.
Like modern-ish trains, those will kill you quicker than shit.
Yeah, they sure will.
Hobos, by the way, when I was looking up stuff, they refer to the caboose of an old-timey train as the accommodations.
Well, and I wish we still had cabooses. I say we, like I still work for, but just we in general. I mean, there are still some places that will use a caboose, but it used to be the guys lived on the caboose.
Yeah, it was like the back of a semi, like the bed of a semi, right? It was like just where the workers would kind of like chill out and rest if they had to. That's the whole point of a caboose, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That was,
you piss off the back of it.
Yeah, pretty much. They were actually though, they even had like pissers, but they opened up directly onto the rail.
Floor.
But they had like little hopper seats, so if you needed to take a dump, you could just shit along the rails.
I mean, that's not littering, if you ask me.
No,
that's not littering. It's messy, but it's not like you're taking a shit next to a tree in front of the pharmacy like the goddamn bum.
No, you're leaving it in a Play-Doh fun factory all the way along the rail.
And oddly enough, if somebody inside that pharmacy had wronged somebody else, that person paid the guy to shit in front of that pharmacy. That bum has now become a hobo.
Yeah. Yep.
Money was exchanged for goods and or services.
I will give you $50 to go take a shit in front of this pharmacy. It's work nobody else wants to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Would you? By doing so, you not only help a business along. I'm gonna have to read between the lines here. There's a whole lot of shit thou shalt nots.
It's a hustle society. It's a hustle society. What we're in. It's a side hustle.
I'm gonna say you said 50, right? Yeah. All right. Fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's good. $50. That's a week's wage for me.
Which leads us right to number 5. When no employment is available, make your own work by using your added talents at crafts. Now, I'm not sure exactly what they were going for here, because remember, this was 1889. So you're a hobo, and you just walked into Pork Knuckle, Arkansas, and you just go to anywhere a good bow can find a job to do, and they're like, no, we've already taken all the shits in front of pharmacies that we need, my friend. This barn is fine. I don't really have anything for you. Very good. Since no employment is available, I will make my own work by my talents at crafts. So is he going to make like a popsicle stick birdhouse and try to sell it on the street?
He's going to capture some rabbits and turn them into the world's first fleshlight.
Jesus Christ, that's very specific. You've been having weird dreams of late.
Monday is my next therapy appointment. We're getting deeper into some stuff.
I keep having that dream where Grandma keeps trying to jerk me off with a homemade rabbit pelt fleshlight.
But they also work as slippers. You like your feet stay warm, but also if you want to put something on your penis.
Sir, I'll repeat the question. Welcome to Dairy Queen. May I take your order?
You will refer to me as Dr. Hello Kitty.
I'm sorry. What I meant to say, instead of rabbit pelt fleshlight, was peanut butter parfait. I get those confused constantly.
And a dilly bar.
I almost said dilly bar. Dilly bars are the best. They used to have the butterscotch dilly bar, and I knew when I was eating them when I was 12 that I was already 75. So like, why am I the only one with the butterscotch dilly bar? Just me and No Tooth Jim over there. He keeps winking at me. Mom, hold my hand. I'm terrified.
But give me today's paper. I'd like to peruse.
Give me last week's paper. I'm going to the library. Fucking Christ.
There's got to be some garage sales I can hit up on a Saturday coming up.
And I'm trying to get some work done. I got people saying, you have to give me a call right now. No, can do, pal. I'm sitting in a fucking library and I got to call you through a computer, which runs on Wi-Fi. So I got to go outside and hope the signal, it's just not going to happen. You're not getting a call. Just type it. Type whatever you need.
Yeah.
Type a fucking tome to me, you dick. I'm learning about hobos in last week's news. This is where we're going to lose them, I think.
Okay. All right. I'm buckled in.
Okay. Do not allow yourself to become stupid drunk. And set a bad example for locals.
I stopped.
It set a bad example for locals' treatment of other hobos.
You lost me.
See, but on paper, it sounds good.
But in practice, that takes away all of what gives me joy in this world.
Yeah. You don't want to become stupid drunk and set a bad example for the locals, for other hobos who might be coming in after you. I get it. I get it. Don't shit too much where you eat. Are you allowed, when you're around the trash can fire, heating up what I assume is old coffee grounds, that then can you get just loaded on boot wine and whatever you can make out of an old tomato? I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I'm going downhill quick.
I was just going to let you do it, though. I was just following you down this path, just seeing how deep you got.
Just a rambling man.
Trailer for sale.
Boot wine. Speaking of which, what is that pink shit you're drinking? Is it another canned cocktail of nonsense?
This was purchased by my wife specifically to piss you off.
Good. Tell her she did. Mission achieved.
It's a bottled aviation.
God damn it!
Well, you can just make me one.
She was in the store to buy all the shit to make an aviation, and she went no. That's like, God.
I'm a fancy hobo.
You're a fancy something. I just don't understand. It's like, why would you do that? You're in the store with all the other stuff.
She did it to piss you off.
You're in the same store
because she loves you.
Fresh vegetables, and you went home with a can of asparagus. You idiot! Stop doing that shit.
No, it's really just to piss you off.
No, she's doing it.
It makes her giggle. It makes her giggle now. Oh, I'm bringing you canned cocktails.
You're not bringing me shit.
Oh, well. Oh, am I not? Am I not?
You know I'm going to drink it. If you hand me booze, I'm going to drink it.
I know you will. It's going to be fantastic.
I'll get over it real quick, and I'll still be pissed at you later for bringing it up. So don't get stupid drunk and set a bad example. So because you don't want the locals to think that all hobos are drunks. Now, at some point in time, though, people just stopped thinking about number 6, because when you think hobos, the first thing you said was boot wine. So it's like they would like write it down. Nobody's going to do it. Just we have to write it down, though.
Just keep in mind.
Yeah. You know where it says, like, in the law, don't take a shit on the tree outside of the pharmacy? You know where it says that? We have to write it down, but nobody's going to read it. Nobody's going to care.
If they give you $50.
It's very similar to the to COVID rules in Chicago restaurants about to-go cocktails. At no point in time did the government say that's fine. Local government, everybody just kind of started doing it, and we went, yeah, that's cool. Sure. We're also not paying for a permit to put tables outside. Okay, that's fine too.
Yeah, just with so much paperwork.
And I'm so fine with that. I have zero problem with that. I'm actually a big fan of the fact that the city of Chicago went, just let them fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's not, you're going to waste people's time on this bullshit. No, let them walk around. If they get real drunk, then it's Chicago. A cop will hit him with a stick. But if he's not, then just leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I have walked around with like a little, you remember those when you were a kid, you got those little, they look like barrels almost, and you ripped off the top of them, and it was like Kool-Aid basically inside. Somebody had those, and they kind of repurposed them. They were just putting like this film over the top, but it was like saran wrap, but it like stuck really well. And then they just like were poking a hole in it, putting a straw, but they just filled it up with white wine. They're selling those for like $3 out of this huge jug. I'm like, that is the most low rent bullshit I've ever seen. And give me 2. Absolutely. Cash only, I'm guessing, right? Of course. No problem, sir.
Oh, that's in Folly Beach. The first we found the house. We couldn't check in yet, so we drove up, paid to park. And the first little hut we ran into, it was supposed to have like beach supplies. Essentially, this guy made his living on selling boozy popsicles.
Nice.
And he was like, here's the ones without alcohol for these guys. Here's all the ones for alcohol for you. And I was like, I will take 2 of each. And Nick's like, I just want 1. I was like, then I will have 3 of these.
Each.
And than whatever these lame asses who don't drink want to have. They're like, we're underage, Dad. I'm like, whatever. It's Folly Beach. No one cares. Is that true?
Place. Is that true? You're going to get away. Folly Beach. You're going to get away with it, and it's just the mayor waving.
Good luck.
Delicious. When I went to, there was a place when I was in Florida. It was kind of like our Navy Pier is here, so it's touristy and kind of overpriced T-shirts and mostly bullshit, but like 2 good restaurants, but touristy. But there's something. It was like, you know, the guys. It's not exactly an ice cream truck. It's like an ice cream 3-wheeler that there's like tooling around, and they got, you know, popsicles and shit in there. The guy had popsicles, yeah, but they were A, homemade, and B, he was also hailed cans of Corona. He gave me for $7. He gave me one of these big ass like this, like the big Coronas, the big tall can. Put it in a thing. Handed me a homemade lime popsicle. Put it in there. Said, or it's like a lime creamsicle. It's like, just stir that around for about 5 minutes. Tell me that's not delicious. I'm like, you're speaking my language, pal. Took a sip. I'm like, I'm following you. Whenever I hear that jingle jangle of the ding ding man, I'm coming with you, pal. This is delicious.
The jingle jangle of the ding ding man.
I think that's number 18 on the 15 tenets of
yes.
You're going to want to listen to the jingle jangle of the ding ding man. No, I just thought it was so cute. That's what my wife used to call the ice cream man when she was a kid.
That's
so every time she sees one, she's like, it's a ding ding man. I'm like, do I go get a dilly bar? It's like, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's right. You're younger than me. Fudgicle. Okay, so number 1 was decide your own life. Don't let another person rule or run or rule you. So 1, we piss on the Constitution. Number 2, you can't really piss on the Constitution when in town in practice because there's local law and officials and they will hit you with sticks. So be a gentleman at all times. Got it. Number 3, don't take advantage of someone who's vulnerable situation, local or other hobos. There's nothing really funny about that. Don't be a prick. Solid. Yeah. However, what if I want to not let somebody else rule me? Well, that's fine. Just don't be a prick while doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to kick people in the nuts. No, then you're not a good hobo.
Yeah, you're a bad hobo.
Always try to find work, even if it's making popsicle stick fucking crafts and then selling them on the streets. And offer to pay the woman or fuck her for her pie. We learned that. When no woman is available, fuck a woman for her pie and make crafts. Number 6, don't become stupid drunk. We know everybody's going to do it, but we wrote it down. That's fine.
Dale, number I'm looking 7, at you.
I'm not even going to. You're just utilizing context clues because I love this word. And it's going to become glaringly apparent. When jungling in town, respect handouts. Do not wear them out. Another hobo will be coming along who will need them as badly, if not worse than you. Huh. They jungle. They go jungling. That's where concrete jungle came from. I don't know if that part is true, but it is.
You had me convinced. I was
but doesn't that sound like it's not bullshit though? Like
no, it could be. Absolutely, it could be.
But like, I don't have to. I just love the fact that I don't have to define that phrase. You just kind of know. What do hobos do? They jungle. They go to town and jungle. What is that? Oh, they don't get drunk on paper. And they'll do crafts, and some of them are carpenters, and they'll try not to get drunk and piss off the cops. That's jungling. Or they'll just take a handout. But respect handouts, don't wear them out. Another hobo will be coming along who will need them badly, if not worse than you.
That's great. It's a great rule.
Always respect nature. Do not leave garbage where you are jungling.
Just makes sense. So hobos are environmentally conscious as well.
And remember, this 1889, the founding fathers of hobos, with the one guy smelling beans in the corner, but the rest of them are going, write that down. That's good. What do you do when you're in town and not get shot? I pick up after myself. Write that down. Everybody needs to hear that. Pick up after yourself.
Carl, are you fucking paying attention?
After you drink responsibly out of your boot, make sure you don't leave the boot behind. That's what we're saying.
Messy Carl, are you listening? You son of a bitch.
Also, it's okay to wave your ass at the clergy. Can we write that down? No, smell your beans. If in a community jungle, always pitch in and help.
There you go.
That's just like, I feel like that's like day laborers kind of almost.
Yeah.
Like, I need 5 hobos to help me raise this barn. Well, I'll be the 6th hobo. I don't need 6. Well, I don't even need to be paid. I'm just going to lend a hand because I'm a good hobo. Cool. What? I don't need to read your tenants though. If you could just scrub, that'd be great.
Can you wash your hands before you touch the dirty side of my barn?
And that brings us to number 10. I did that on purpose. Ha.
You led me.
Try to stay clean and boil up whenever possible.
Boil up.
I looked that up.
I bet you
That
did.
I did. It's very literal. Hobos really just had like the one outfit. You know, they were just like the one.
Because you can't fit a whole wardrobe in a bindle.
No, you can fit, like we talked about, you could fit other fucking bandanas. And whatever garbage you happen to not leave behind. And the beans to smell later.
And rabbit fur.
The rabbit fur fleshlight. Jesus Christ. God. No, that's
Tell me that ain't the softest thing you've ever felt.
Why do I have to feel it there?
Because why wouldn't you want to?
You show me a more sensitive part inside you.
Damn it, go back to sniffing your beans and stop peddling those fuck rabbits.
This stupid callback that we're just going to keep strangling. Second Larry ignore smelling beans. What? Why aren't we getting any clicks on that? That's not exactly clickbait. Jesus Christ, the fellas ignore smelling beans. Boiling up is very literally what it is. They would boil their clothes to kill lice. So they're doing their best to stay clean. That's it doesn't even say.
So is there like a community hobo pot where they would just throw all of their shit in and just sit around naked?
Hey, if it's a community jungle, you always pitch in and help.
Hey, you know what, Dale? That's a good looking dick. Well, thank you, Steven.
Take the rabbit off of it.
That is a hell of a crank you get.
Second Larry ignore the same two jokes over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They weren't funny the first time. Are they funny the 50th? No. No, I do like this one. It says because it's just realistic. It says try to stay clean and boil up whenever possible, which is kind of the same as like the pursuit of happiness. Like we're not going to promise we're going to be clean. That's just not going to happen. We can promise we will try to boil our socks when it's convenient for us.
Nobody was clean back then. Nobody was clean.
I know, but it's like they're sitting around the council of hobos. Yeah, just write down bathe often and stay clean. That's not going to happen. Well, we already wrote don't get drunk and piss in the middle of the town. Nobody's going to listen to that either. Okay, can we put try to stay clean?
And just try. Do your best. Fine.
Right. Boil up. You're not boiling your pants often enough. You're right. Your trousers crawl. I know. I haven't boiled them in like 2 weeks.
That's all I'm going to refer to doing laundry as from now on. I gotta go boil my britches. I'm sorry.
That's going to mean something much different. I just boiled my britches. The ones you're wearing, regrettably. In the middle of this Outback Steakhouse? Correct.
I saw no better place.
I left a tip and I picked up after myself. I respect nature. Now I have to go boil up again.
I must go boil up.
You can tell by the fact that he's trying to stay sober that he is a hobo. When traveling, ride your train respectfully. Take no personal chances. Cause no problems with the operating crew or host railroad. Act like an extra crew member. Which I think is nice in theory, but how many crew members really want a dude who's like just jumping on and be like, are you a good engineer? Like what's a crewman called on a train?
There's engineers, conductors, brakemen.
That's what I want.
And firemen.
Okay.
Well, there used to be. Now, with the modern trains and such, you've pretty much all you have are engineers and conductors. Occasionally, you'll have one brakeman. But yeah, because the fireman was just the guy that would scoop the coal into the furnace to make the choo-choo go toot-toot all the way down the rail.
Gotcha. Trained labor.
Yeah.
He didn't boil up. He didn't need to.
No.
When you're covered in soot. There's no boiling that's going to help.
No.
Now these get really specific to hobos. Like before, these were really pretty much good tenants for everybody, but now we're getting real specific because they got down to because after you hit 10, 10's an important sounding number according to Christianity and my buddy George Carlin. 10 sounds official. We got to 10 and we got to boil up. And they're like, we said we were going to do 15. Ah, fuck. All right.
Ain't none of us can count that high.
Oh, shit. Somebody take off your shoe. We got not 4 toe. We need 5. Okay, so talk about train stuff. Okay, don't piss on the train. Got it. Do not cause problems in the train yard. That could be 12. Do not cause problems in the train yard. Another hobo will be coming along who will need passage through that yard. Okay. And here is where these are real good tenants to live by. B, they're also very specific to a very specific problem that apparently was gnarly enough that they felt they had to write it down.
Okay.
However, it comes after don't piss off the conductor, pick up after yourself, and try not to get too drunk. Do not allow other hobos to molest children. Expose all molesters to authorities. They are the worst garbage to infest any society.
Well, I mean,
yes,
absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
But holy shit, that it was that much of a problem that they had to write it down.
But what if they wrote the Thriller album? That's my question.
But what if they're friends with all of the rich people in Hollywood?
As Paul Mooney said, yes, Michael Jackson was a child molester, but he was an entertainer. Give him as many Cub Scouts as that man can choke down.
Oh my God.
I think that was Paul Mooney. It's definitely not mine, but whoever said it, I was laughing for a week. But that seems real specific. There's like the Hobo Code. All right, we've got all these. We also protect kids from diddlers. Yes. Well, nobody's going to say no, so write it 13. Fine, fuck it. We need 2 more. What's 14? Help all runaway children. Again with the kids? Yes, and don't let anybody diddle them.
Don't let nobody fuck kids. And also, if they run away, don't let people fuck them and then help them get back home. I don't know, just however they need help. Maybe they're getting fucked at home. Maybe they just need to be a new hobo. We've just recruited a new hobo.
That's 14. Help all runaway children and try to induce them to return home. Try to stay clean. Try to boil your britches. Try to get the kid to go back home. Definitely don't touch him. But try to get him to go home. But you don't have to try that hard. You don't have to try real hard to stay sober.
But all those tries, all those moments of try to do this, try to do that, all goes back to the first tenant.
Absolutely. These are all.
Don't let nobody tell you how to do nothing. You don't let them tell you how to do nothing. But these are just good rules to live by. Don't fuck kids and boil your pants.
Why are you doing an impression of Mel Brooks doing an impression of an old rabbi right now? That's a great.
I don't know. It hit my head.
Just so you know, you can do that impression. You can do an impression of Mel Brooks doing an impression of a rabbi. Just keep that with you if it ever comes up in a polite conversation.
You have not heard my my voiceover work for one of the Front Row Network shows.
No, but I've heard you whisper in my ear when I'm trying to take a nap, and it's fucking awful.
They needed a Sam Elliott.
Oh, you're being serious? Oh, okay.
100% serious.
They
needed a Sam Elliott-esque voiceover, and so I did it. And the guys that are running the show were like, "This is really fantastic."
Nice.
Here's the thing: it was at 1:30 in the morning after I had been out at a music festival, really drunk, and had smoked a couple cigars. So my voice was perfect for a Sam Elliott.
Little known fact, that is the only way Sam Elliott will work anymore. He has to be drunk. It has to be after midnight because he's like a gremlin, and he has to have at least 2 Robustos, and that's the only way he'll film the scene. Otherwise, he sounds like Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, well, I knew that, which is why I tried that method, and really, I feel like I really fucking nailed it.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
so
I'm really proud.
We're as men of science. You when you have an experiment, you have to repeat your results and have it peer reviewed. So,
absolutely.
So we're gonna have to wait for Lollapalooza. No, that'll be next Hobo Fest. We're gonna call that a music festival. I'm sure there's a band. I know there's a flea market. And
I guarantee you, there's a jug band.
Yeah. Because you can't have a boot mine band. They don't really do much. It's just a whole lot of splashing and sloshing.
It don't make no noise.
Play that hit Slosh About again. That's the only one I know.
They just take it off.
slosh about. They're really
you get down
trying
the
to
fiddle and you get down the bow, you slip on your boot and you hit up a hoe.
bow.
Bow. Yes.
Hobo Dave, you're drunk in public. You know what that means? Gotta go boil my britches in the train yard alone. Yes. And sober up and make a fucking birdhouse out of these popsicle sticks, you twit. Goddamn. I only know how to make macaroni toilet seats. That's a craft. That's fine.
Get to crafting, you son of a bitch.
And number 15, help your fellow hobos whenever and wherever needed. You may need their help someday.
I like the hobo code.
How do you not romanticize this lifestyle? There are very few actual hobos, I think, that are still running around today. I wish there were more. I wish there were more people who just read stuff like this and went, you know what, I should live my life a little bit more like a hobo. Yeah, it's very specific to train yards, and I haven't touched a kid in weeks. But no, but can you make a joke about that?
Yeah, you can make a joke about anything as long as somebody laughs. So
Mhm.
I've got 2 hobo stories for you. Can I give you a couple quick hobo stories?
You have 2 hobo stories?
Yeah, dude.
Knowing what we know about hobos, are these stories going to be officially about hobos, or are they going to be tramp or bum stories?
Well, there's one story I'm going to give you that
I'm going to have to be specific on this single episode. After that, these are all interchangeable to me.
I'm going to tell you the one story where I'm not sure. I'm going to let you categorize this one, but then there was one official hobo story. I know he's a hobo. So when I was working for the railroad years ago, there were 2 guys and a woman that were traveling the rails that we would get alerts about every day because they were adorably called by the FBI the axe handle killers. And so what they
I'm gonna have to reread the 15 hobo tenants, but I'm pretty sure these ain't hobos.
I think that's a tramp. I'm pretty sure this is a tramp.
Pretty sure it's the Manson family.
But they would jump on and ride the rails and force the train to. So when the train goes into emergency, it's because of some mechanical error. And the easiest way to do that
into emergency, like the brakes seize up, like
the brakes. I was about to explain that. Yep, the brakes seize up, the train stops. Okay. The easiest way to do that, here you go, guys. You want some inside scoops? There are air hoses because it's all set up on an air brake system.
Let me get a pen. But
yeah, I'll put up some schematics later. But if you break those air hoses, because they have what's called glad hands, and so they essentially shake hands with each other and they clasp together. If you pull those apart, sends everything into emergency. So the axe handle killers would adorably put the train into emergency. Actually, the easiest way to do it is, anyway, that's too much context. But they would put the train into emergency, and then when the conductor would be forced to go back and try to check the whole train, they would jump out and beat them to death with axe handles, steal their wallet, and run off into the night.
That seems like a real convoluted way to mug one person in the middle of Wyoming.
Right. But I think that was more for the love of the game and less so much for the money.
They're paying Natural Born Killers,
I think
the Railroad
so.
Edition. Oh,
yeah.
God. Did you know anybody who came across these lovely band of folk?
There was one point where, because they would give us alerts of they were last, seen in Kansas. They were last reported, and so there were a lot of us. The railroad was like, "You are not allowed to carry weapons of any variety," and all of us were like, "Fuck that!"
Nobody's checking me.
Yeah.
I'm the only person who's in charge of me on this train. Yeah. I follow hobo tenant number 1, which is go fuck yourself.
Yeah, eat all of my dick. I will deal with it when it happens. But yeah, there was one person I knew of that they were walking back and they were like, I don't know, man. And they were getting an ooky feeling.
Yeah.
And then came back up to the head of head of the train, the engine, got on.
I used to be a professional. The front bit.
Well, that's the thing. You could call it it's the end and the head, but the engine. And he jumps up there and locks it. And he was like, "I ain't going back there. I don't know what's back there. I don't know if it's just a dog, if it's a coyote, if it's just a squirrel with a bad attitude, or if it's them folks with them axe handles. I ain't going back there." And so they sat and waited. Now, here's the good hobo story.
Okay. That's not a hobo story. That's I almost got killed by serial rapists.
Yeah, pretty much. Those were, I think we call them tramps. I think they're
very specialized.
Yeah.
They're lunatics.
They
I
were
might be able to
fucked
come up. I might be able to come up with a good phrase, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But so we're coming out of Decatur and had just hit the edge of Springfield, and our dispatcher had buzzed us and was like, "Hey, you've got a passenger." And we were like, "Oh, okay." So because a sheriff's deputy was sitting at a crossing, had seen somebody sitting at the end of one of the rail cars.
Mm-hmm.
And so the conductor I was with, we weren't allowed to carry weapons, but those air hoses that we carried were about 3 feet long and about this big around,
And made out of what?
Rubber with two metal ends.
That'll do it.
Yeah, because you whip that thing and it's
a mace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but in case there was ever a problem, you had these giant metal wrenches and so you just carried your tools anyway. And everyone was like, "You don't need a gun. You just beat the shit out of somebody with one of these air hoses." And you're like, "Well, yeah,
what if there's 3 of them and they got axe handles and it's the middle of the night in Wyoming?"
Then to start swinging faster, I guess. I don't
then do what Dale says. Don't go back there.
Yeah. But we walk back and this dude is sitting there and he's got like a little pork pie type style hat, and he's got khakis and a t-shirt, and he's got his backpack, and he's sitting there and he goes, "Howdy." And we go, "Hey pal, how's it going?" He goes, "Don't mean no harm. I'm just your good luck hobo." And we're like, "Yeah, but the railroad cops are going to be up at the next crossing. If you're not off of here, they're going to stop us. They're going to arrest you. They're going to take you. So we can't just let you ride." And he's like, "Oh, that sucks." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, no, but I get it. I appreciate it." So we're like, "Yeah, we wouldn't care. You're not hurting us. You're not causing us harm. It's not like it's going to cause us any issue. In fact, the cop that called us and said, 'Hey, you can't let that person ride on your train,' is hurting us worse than you being on here." And he was like, "Well, I'm just trying to get to Chicago." And we both stopped and looked at each other and we went, "You're going the wrong way." He's like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, bro, we're going
west. South, but or west. Wait,
we're headed
Decatur
west
to Springfield.
Yep, Decatur to Springfield, and then I said we're going from here to Missouri, and then we're headed south west in Missouri." And he's like, "Oh, I really did that wrong, didn't I?" And I was like, "Yeah, bud, you did." And he goes, "So is there gonna be another train coming back?" I was like, "Yeah, there will be." And he's like, "So if I get back to the rail yards," and then the guy I was working with, he was like, "Yeah, if you get back to the rail yards, go over to this side and then jump these trains, and that'll get you up to Chicago." And he's like, "Oh, right on, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Have a good trip." And he just crawled off. We all high-fived, and he went off and sat in the ditch waiting for the next train to come by to take him back to Decatur.
It strikes me as a delightful hobo encounter.
It was the best hobo encounter.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked because he gave me the little tip of the hat. Just your good luck hobo.
The only thing he had in his backpack that wasn't oozing, a copy of the 15 Tenets of the Hobo.
I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee
the Hobo Ethical Code is what it's called.
Yes, indeed. Hobo Ethical Code. Hobo. Hey, buddy, what I learned today?
You learned that despite the fact my entire building vibrates violently due to Japanese monsters that the government pays for, It still only takes one dipshit who works for another company to fuck my life up for a week.
Yes.
You learned that. Let's see. You also you learned the difference between a hobo and a whole bunch of guys that want to kill you for your wallet with a stick. You also learned that it doesn't matter how many times you say the phrase "smell the beans," it's never going to be funny to anybody but us.
I feel like you learned the same exact thing, actually.
Yeah. What else do you think I learned?
I think you learned that that there's a gentleman in town with a PhD who's a hell of a salesman.
Just stop believing in his own product.
I think you also learned that that we have terrible timing, and this should have been a week that we were in Iowa, getting to making new friends.
Absolutely.
You also learned that even my wife is in on it, and will
fucking. I know your kid was, but Jesus Christ with the stupid drinks. But I learned that I respect hobos much more than I respect organized religion, but the reasons are basically the same. I like them more for the same reasons I hate them, because I think the hobos are actually trying to live by this, where the other people are trying to fucking use that to their own advantage.
I agree.
In a lot of instances, not everybody, obviously.
Right.
But in a lot of instances.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. All right, pal. Guess what?
What's that?
I love you.
Thank you.
There was a question mark at the end of that. I'm really sorry about that.
That's why I said thank you.
We'll just leave it at that. Let's just, hey, don't let nobody tell you how to live. And you know what? I'm not going to say that last part.
I just want to end this show on a kind of vibe.
The best part's about hanging out with these guys. God damn it, son of a bitch, motherfuck.